So welcome to my top 10 must-have Android apps and games. If you have an Android device and you don't have some of these, then I think you could be missing out. Without further ado, let's get started. So game number 1 is War Robots, and I essentially imagine this as the Star Wars Battlefront equivalent on Android. You fight large-scale battles 6v6 person v person, and the objectives are normally quite simple, either eliminate all the enemy robots or capture all the beacons on the map. Now the actual gameplay varies quite a bit. You'll be doing everything from sitting back and sniping to going in all guns blazing. There's over 20 robots to unlock and over 20 different weapons to equip them with. And going through, grinding, leveling up and making them more powerful is all part of the grind that makes the game so rewarding. Online, it's got quite a serious adult competitive vibe to it, which is quite refreshing for an Android device. And I've got a special link down below which gives you a whole bunch of bonuses when you download it. So number 2 is an ingenious little application. This is Wi-Fi Map, and it essentially maps out every free Wi-Fi spot that you can access. So these ones that are open to the public, as well as ones that without this app you wouldn't even know about. It could be homes, public spaces, restaurants. You'd be amazed that just walking around in your city, you can find free Wi-Fi just about anywhere. Next up, Super Mario Run finally hit Android devices. This time, interestingly enough, they've released it as a free app, which you can then unlock all the content by paying £9.99. And yes, compared to most Android games, that's a pretty steep asking price, but I'd say it's more comparable to its console counterparts. When you play this game, just little things about it remind you that this is Nintendo. It's got the look, feel and polish of a console title. In terms of the gameplay, for the most part, it's a really fun experience. They've managed to shrink down Mario so you can play the entire game with one finger, which is a big feat. It does lose a little bit of its freedom of movement, for example, but I have to say all that does is adds to the challenge. It means you've got to repeat levels again and again to try and get all those pink coins, and in the end the result is really rewarding. So then we've got something called Duper Widget. So if you don't have that, download Duper Widget now, and I'm going to show you 2 different apps which can take the best use of it. Number 1 is Powder. And I'd say this is one of the best ways to create a minimalistic phone setup. These top 2 widgets on my phone screen, you can see they perfectly match with each other and also create a pretty nice contrast when it comes to the background. They both come in the pack and they're just examples of what you can create with this. And as well as the widgets, you also get wallpapers, you get different fonts, all designed to work with each other, so it's kind of an all-in-one complete personalization pack. And then on the other end of the spectrum, but still impressive in its own right, we've got the Stun Duper widgets. Now this is a collection of widgets that is the exact opposite of the minimalism we were seeing previously. These are bright, bold, colourful and busy, and can definitely draw some attention, if that's what you're going for. Next up, Cursor Control, a surprisingly ingenious application. Its role is very simple. You can then use the volume keys to adjust your cursor when you're typing. And once you pick up a bit of speed, once you get used to the mechanism, I'd say it actually does improve your writing speed. For example, if you make a mistake 2 letters before, tap the volume key down twice and your cursor will move to that location. You decide which applications you want to enable it in so it doesn't become a hassle, but at the same time it's very convenient. Next up is Dawn of Titans, and from its name, its aesthetic and its RPG elements, it'd be very easy to knock this off as just another generic RPG. But you couldn't be more wrong, because the complexity of battles you can achieve on this, the scale, the animations and the fluidity of it all is honestly unrivaled. There's a lot of interesting strategy going on the battlefield, lots of items and troops to unlock which change how your battles might pan out, and a gorgeous looking world to maintain and grow. Application number 8 is Pixar's, probably the best implementation so far of visual indicators of the different properties of your phone. It can show your battery, your CPU usage or your memory. It can display above any app and doesn't intrude what you're doing. And a nice little bonus is that if you're a YouTuber with over 25 subscribers, you can get a free copy. Next up is Voxel, and is probably my number 1 recommended icon pack for beginner users, simply because you just hit apply on any compatible launcher and you're good to go. It automatically masks unthemed icons, everything looks geometric and symmetric, and it's got the wallpapers in it, it's got the fonts, it's got the icons, and even a handy little icon request tool. So then we have Auralux, a pretty casual real-time strategy game. It doesn't have as much progression, depth or character unlocking as with other games of this genre, but I have to say the game mechanics themselves are very strong. Wiping out the entire galaxy never fails to put a smile on my face, and at the end of each game you can see the statistics, which is always pretty interesting. So guys, those were 10 amazing Android apps and games. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, it would really help me out if you subscribed to the channel and also turned on notifications. With that being said, I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.